Hey everybody, it's Kurt here with the Internet Time Machine, and I have a video for you today entitled 10 Trends You Don't Know About. And what I did is I went through the Internet Time Machine's filtering software and created what I call a trend tree, meaning I start at a very high developed trend area and I work my way backwards all the way down to very small micro trends. And what I'm about to show you, I'm going to try to get through 10 trends in 10 minutes that you don't know about. And when I say you don't know about, that just means the massive mega trends like baby boomers, Facebook, mobile devices, commodities, things like that. Everyone knows about them. Now, there are niches within those big categories, but what about 10 trends that are not necessarily internet marketing ideas that are going on right now that are growing in people's interest but don't have a lot of supply? So let's take a look and try to bang out 10 trends right now that you don't know about. Let's head over to the Internet Time Machine and see what's going on.
Hey everybody, hopefully I can show you some really cool trends picking up right now with growing demand and not a lot of supply. So if you've watched Internet Time Machine videos, we usually come down here into this corner and type in a keyword to find that phrase, phrases with that term that are growing in demand with low supply. I'm going to come down into the other now, number of search results, and show you how to go from macro trends to micro trends, and hopefully I'm going to show you at least a few things you've never heard of as far as trends you don't know about. So right off the bat at our macro trends level, coming in number 2 this week, North Korean money. Pretty interesting trend. No PPC, not a lot of information about there. Obviously it's from North Korea, but interest as far as when their leader or dictator is done, would North Korea ever open up and be a non-communist country, and if so, what would that mean financially as far as trading their money and investments? So North Korean money is a highly trending trend that you might not know about, people looking for information about it. Dropping down as I use the filter to go into lower niches, or at least I should say less developed slowly, we'll drop down and look. I thought there's an interesting one here at number 54. I'm sorry, not number 54, at number 52. Fantasy golf picks. Let me bring it up for you here. This is interesting. Fantasy golf is just like any other fantasy sports league. There's only less than 1 million results, and yet the golf tour is going to be picking up here in the spring, and there's a whole group of people interested in it. Now, I'm just going to take a quick second and show you, if you're an Internet Time Machine member, how you can go into the free software we give you that creates your own ebook and creates your own web page. I'm going to do a check to see if there's any information out there for fantasy people interested in fantasy golf, and if there's information I can make an ebook. If there's not, that's going to tell me there might be an opportunity to create something. There's demand. I'm also went into SEPCON and I have it searching for any sites in the world that have to do with fantasy golf, and how can I contact them either with an email or an opt-in page. And I can go over to YouTube here and type in fantasy golf and see if there's any videos that are up about fantasy golf. So I'm going to let those programs run while I take you through the niches real quick. Dropping down to, let's go down again, take the niche tree down a little bit lower, find another micro niche, or at least I should say a trend that's starting to pick up. And down here I thought was interesting, at number 54, online traffic school reviews. Now, these are schools you can do for when you get a ticket, speeding, parking, and you're forced to go to traffic school. Well, there actually are schools, at least in California, you can take these courses online to get credit for your deductible, for your insurance, or your requirements. So, obviously, with the schools online, what is everyone looking for? A review. What are the best online traffic schools? For those of you that do review sites, did you know that there's demand right now to do reviews of online traffic school? Cool little niche right there. Well, let's keep going down the niche tree. I want to be able to show you a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go kind of quick, and maybe you got to replay the video, but at least you'll be able to have some things to think about this weekend. At 60,000 level, if I go to number 32, I notice that, let's see, it is number 132. I'm sorry. Keeping track of my numbers here. E-mini S&P 500. Now this is kind of interesting. What it is, it's a futures. You can bet the direction of the stock market, or at least the S&P 500, but you don't need $50, $500, or $1,000. You can do it for 50, 60 cents. It's a mini version of the S&P 500 futures. So if you think the stock market's going up or down and you only want to bet, a couple dollars, you can actually do it. They're mini contracts. So in the financial area, this is a nice little niche. Did you know about that? There's an E-mini S&P 500 contract. So check that out as well. Let's drop down, keep going down to the 50. Let's drop down to 40,000 so I can get through. Again, we're getting into the micro niche level. So these are less developed niches. And we'll go to number. Oh, I wanted to bring up number 23 for you. Notice car kits for iPhone 4. This goes back to one of our top 10 ideas we've had all year is the smartphone holder for the car. Everyone is using smartphones as a GPS. So actually we gave you this information a year ago, coming out with a smartphone holder for the car that people could use while driving is a huge money area that you can make money in. It's showing up again for the specific smartphone titles. But coming down here, number 35, mind mapping software review. Mind mapping software is a software that kind of lays out a whole entire business model that's connected, or your whole company connected, but you can move around and over it. It's pretty cool software. As mind mapping software becomes popular, people want reviews. Which are the best ones? That has less than 500,000 organic results, no PPC. So I'm trying to show you trends that you've never heard of that you can take a look at. Let's drop down to 20,000. These are going to be much smaller micro trends, and look around at, let's say, this is a pretty interesting one. Qi, or Q energy. You can spell it with a Q, QI or KI, and it's the energy that is in all living things, harnessing the power of just the actual natural energy you have. I'm going to go to the membership and do a video on this because I think there's a lot of possibilities for Qi energy to be used as a workout, as a weight loss, as things that are in high demand. Qi energy is coming from the granola world into the regular world. So if I just want to check Google Trends real quick and see, Sufi songs I was checking out. You can see we're picking up this spike right here coming into the year, and now it's starting to stay here. There's some interest involving Qi energy. Let's drop down to a micro trend that you maybe never heard of. Hopefully, maybe some of you have heard of some of these. If you're into yoga or you're a financial advisor, you might know about the E500. Let's see, number 68, Sufi songs. Sounds kind of silly, but it actually has less than 500,000 results. It's songs by a Punjabi musician, but if you look, he's becoming very popular. You've probably never heard of him. If I go over to Google Trends, Sufi songs. This is what we're picking up. The demand is increasing coming out of India for this particular artist. So I can actually show you. Maybe we'll have time to squeeze in one more. Let's go over and see if I can get, let's go up to 10,000, see. So I'm just using the filter to go from big niches and big trends to new trends and smaller ones. Lunch boxes for adults right now. Why is this popular? We're in a recession. People are cutting back. They don't have money to be spending on 2 meals out. They're bringing their lunch to work. Now that sounds great if you're in 2nd grade, but if you work for a living, you can't be using your Spider-Man lunchbox. Lunch boxes for adults is a very popular micro trend right now as professionals try to figure out the best ways to bring their food to work with them. Like I said, without being in a lunchbox. So I hope you enjoyed these quick ideas. I ran through them quick to try to get them in the amount of time we have. I just put up about 6 more ideas like this in the membership video area. So if you're a member of the Internet Time Machine, go to your membership area. I went through about 6 or 8 more things that I found that are very interesting trends with growing demand and not a lot of supply. And actually, let's go check our fantasy golf, see how we're doing. We found a lot of fantasy info, maybe 1 golf article, not a lot. So this is actually an opportunity to look that there is demand and there's not a lot of information out there. We can maybe write something up about fantasy golf, hire someone to write something, the Fantasy Golf League, who to pick, how to run it. You can have a very nice informational product and be the only person out there. It looks like we found over 1,000 sites that have something to do with fantasy golf and golf picks and fantasy golf tips that we could contact right now. And if I use my YouTube, it looks like we found 50 websites that have some, or 50 videos that may have something to do with fantasy golf. So these softwares are all complimentary when you're an Internet Time Machine Gold or Platinum member. You can head over there now. It's a $5 trial just to get in and play with everything. And if you want to, 2-week refund, no questions asked. Go in there, check out trends, see what's going on in the world. Maybe you'll find something in your area. Talk to you later.